Hey folks, time once again to do retro CSS battles, which is me doing CSS battles from CSSBattle.dev from the past. These are daily targets from the 16th, 17th, and 18th of 2023. Let's get right to it. So things with 45 degrees angles of them are probably my least favorite. They are the trickiest, but that's not going to let me be stopped. Okay, so I think that what I would like to do, rather than trying to rotate anything, we're just going to do 3 gradients, and that's 3 linear gradients. And so we're going to go from the out in, and the first thing we're going to do is have a radial gradient at 45 degrees that starts in the lighter purple, goes to transparent, and then is the lighter purple again, like that. So if we can choose the correct numbers, we can create the right thing. I like to do these in percent if I can. There's 35, and that could be right, 35%. Does that mean that 55 or 65% is the other one? Let's see. Maybe. Looks pretty good. If we add the light color for contrast and look at the diff, we should see, well, what's missing? Well, that looks pretty good, so we'll take that. Next, we need the next angle to go inward, and that actually looks good too. So we'll take it. We have choices now. We need to do this middle circle, and we can do, I believe, this sequence we can do as a variable, --g of that, and then plop it in var --g. There's that. So we shave a few characters off of that. And so that decides the next piece, which is we need that circle, and that's going to be a radial gradient circle with the light purple, copy and paste from there, like 30% or 20% or whatever that number is. And there's the circle, and 30% is too big. How about 20? Is that the number? Maybe. Let's submit and find out whether we've got the numbers right. That's 99.7% match. So that means we've got some trouble. So that means these 35 and 65% are not quite right. So hopefully they're symmetrical. 4%. 35.5%. What if we just do 200 pixels? What's that look like? Okay, 1, 7, 1, 2, 3. 173 pixels, and the other one is slightly different. So let's submit that and see if we get any better. We got, what, 99.7%. We would like to see 100%. Let's see if we can get 100%. We're waiting on a response from the CSS servers. That's a 99.8%, so that's slightly better. I think that means we got to use pixels. 300, 310, 320, 31, 32, 33. I think that we might still have a little bit of a shadow, but I'm hoping we can use this variable. 99.8%. Okay, so I think what this means is that we can't, in fact, use this variable. I mean, I guess let's try one more. 0.5, 2.5. Let's submit that. Super close. 99.9%. So no, I don't trust these numbers, and I want the freedom to do whatever I need to do. So that means I need to copy and paste these values where the var g is, and I need to nuke this var g, unfortunately. All right, so which one is the problem? I think it's the first one. Let's do 174, 2 pixels, so slightly different. 99.9%. What was that I was saying about the frustrations of 45-degree angles? That's completely accurate. What about this? Maybe this is the problem. 40 pixels. And let's see if we can get a closer number with this. 40, 50. Let's submit that. If we get 100%, then I'm going to go backward in time and use that variable again. Nope, that's not 100%. So even though it looks dead on to me, it is not. So what do we need to do? We got to start from scratch. Unfortunately, let's do aspect ratio 1, margin, let's do 100 auto to center, turn off these margins, put the background here as the light purple, and then this is a radial gradient of, what did we say, circle 50, actually we don't need the keyword, 40 pixels of the, and actually transparent will do it, because we're going to let it see through to the back, and then a hard edge of that, 4, 3, aspect ratio 1, so we need a width of some number, and then we need a rotate of 45 degrees. And that margin auto is not getting it done, so we're going to use display flex. Already some interesting weird stuff happened. So that's a problem. Here's what I did wrong. What I meant to do was margin of 40 auto. Okay, how about 50 auto? 60 auto, 61, 61, and 62, 63. And now we make it bigger. 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be right. How about 65 as the top? 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 21, so 2, so 3, say 4, say 5. And then this is what, 50 pixels is what we need? All right, let's see if that does it. That looks pretty dead on, is it? I don't know. All right, so there's our 100% match. And that is a better score than I've gotten in the past, so that counts. Frustrating one, but you know, we've got multiple ways to do these things, and so we go for it. All good. All right, so what can I do? Any other optimizations I can make? Not really. How about we minify and resubmit, and we're done with this one. And this is a better score than I've gotten in the past, so I'm doing better. But I do wish that it was consistent about what seemed to me to be mathematically identical shapes, but clearly they're not. You know, something about the parser doesn't like them. All right, this little tree. I love this little tree. I can't help but seeing a clip path on this guy. So let's make a clip path on this guy. And let's make the simplest clip path that we can. Let's, rather than do all the parts of the tree, what we're going to do is we're going to do What are we gonna do? Clip path, polygon, and it's in the middle, 50%, 0, 100%, 100%, and then 0, 100%. So that's our triangle. Now, if we alter our colors and widths and margins, we could get the same shape. And let's put the margins, actually we need the margins on the body, probably 50, and then we need to make the height right, 200. And I would like it to go all the way down, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 50, 50, 51, 2, 3. That's too far. 44, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. That could be right. Let's make this a little taller. 2, 3, 4, 5, 260. So the margin top is 40. So this is 260 tall. I think we've got the right things. If we adjust these margins, we can make it wider. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 70. Not bad. So what's the right way, now that we've got that shape, to define what is the correct way to do this? I mean, clearly it seems like linear gradient is the right thing, but we've still got the little block at the bottom we need to do, right? So let's do the little block at the bottom, which is a conic gradient, which is at 0, 0, and is like 100 pixels wide or something. Okay, so then I'm going to do outlandish colors just to remind myself of what I'm doing. Red, pink, and there you get a little taste of what that is. And yes, it's a little silly. So let's do, and we're going to do a from 180 degrees, red, 25%, and then a hard edge. That's how I'm thinking about it, and then I make it a little wider. Okay, and then we need a from and then an at. So let's do our at. And it's 40 pixels, 50, 60, 70, 80. I would like the edge of the first red area to align with the, I guess, the trunk of the tree. If I can do that, then I'm in good shape. 9, 10, 100. And then that means this has got to be a little wider than that so I can actually see the darn thing. 10, there it is. And then it's 150 wide. And then we do need to go downward. We have another option. We could put this on the body, but I feel, I think at this point we're content. We're just adding another variable here, 50 pixels, 100, 200 pixels, 170, 180 pixels. Okay. So the red we know can be transparent. Can it be transparent? Actually, no. We're going to use the covering color and use the pink as the transparent. That's what we need to see through to. So there's our initial color. And then underneath it, we need a linear gradient. With 3 colors. It's the light, twice, and the dark in between. So that's our shape. Can we do it in percentages? 30%, 0, 50%, and 0. So those are our color stops. 32, 3, 4, 5, 4.5, and 6. Let's submit that and see if that number is okay. .99%. Okay. So again, a very close one. I don't know if you can see an outline there. There's your frustration number there. So is it possible that the problem is we made it too tall? If so, let's see what that looks like. You have to make it less tall. 4, 3, 2, 1. That will mean that we need to change our margins. So let's, we're going to get rid of the conic gradient and just make it as tall as the tree part. Yes, little frustrating, but that's the fun of it. All right, now let's move in 8, 9, 100, 110, and that aligns very nicely. Fine. That's just fine. All right. Now we need to fix that gradient for 5, 50, 70, 1, 2, 3, 2, 0.5. Let's submit that. Oh no, we're not submitting that. I mean, we did, but we didn't want to. All right, so this should be 100 pixels, 20, 30, 40. That 130 pixels. That seems better. All right. So what's last? So that's our shape. We would like a conic gradient here. Conic gradient. And it's from let's see, what do we need? We need from 90 degrees. We need this white color, 25% of that, or 90 degrees worth, and then the darker color, and not have a trailing comma. And then we need to, so we've got the width of it, and I think we've got the right idea. Let's make this 200. So I'd like it to line up perfectly with the right side of the trunk there. All right, and then we need an at, and then we can kind of do it, I think. At and we adjusted the center of that conic gradient. So the conic gradient, that's what it looks like. That is a conic gradient from 90 degrees at 180 pixels on the x-axis. That's the center. And then the y-axis is 50%. It's halfway on the body. And then we have color, the light color, 90% worth on the conic. And then the rest of it, 270 degrees worth of this darker color. So let's put that back and let's submit this one and find out if we are in a good position or not. We would like to see 100%, and we do. We like that. Okay, so let's minify and unit replace, and that's a fine result. We could also have left the size tall and then added to the clip path. different ways to do that. But in this case, there's a little bit of a shadow showing through, even though I don't think there should be, but that's kind of the way it goes. Okay, so that was this guy we got with an element. This guy we also got with an element. What's this guy gonna be? Third time's a charm. Do we need an element for this one? I think we don't. To me, going from the outside in, we need a radial gradient. That's a circle, because on the body it's not, which is not a square. It's 400 by 300 at 40% of a transparent value, and then this light green. Kapow! Not bad. And then we need another radial gradient. It might even be the same one, but with a different dimension, right? Let's find out if it's a different dimension. If we do, so we do that, and then we move it minus 200 pixels. How about minus 100 pixels? Minus, there it is. So we subtract. So we're moving the moving it on the x-axis. So 7, 8, 9, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, and that kind of lines up pretty well. Now we only need the dark color to start with. So we need transparent here, which gives us white because that's the default background. What if we set a width of 50%? Then we see 2. How about 40%? 50, 60. And then adjust the spacing. So I'm changing the current position. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Is that it? Oh, it's close. But it's not right, is it? No, it's not. How about 42%? 5%? How about 35%? So we would like those curves to align better. 40, well, 40 is what we got. 41, 42, 43, 42. What if we just do 100 pixels? It would be 8, 48 pixels. So close, but it needs to be because the acuity of that curve is in the same position is different. We need to either get larger or smaller. In this case, I think we need to get larger. So how about 100? And then we increase this 70. Ooh, that looked pretty good. So that looks like a good edge, and that means adjust. So 100 pixels, I think, is the proper thing, but we need more distance, which means a bigger background. So 75%, and then we move it over again. 8, 9, 500. Is that it? That's pretty good. We'll take that. I like that. All right. If we're noticing that there's a similarity there. So what happens if we do what? Just 100? No. How about minus 100. Minus 100, it's the same thing. So none of these numbers are great. Oh, is it not the same thing? No, it's the same thing. All right. So this, I think we want to use this very same one, but with 50% minus 100 pixels. And then it's 100%. And then the same value, 75%. Oh no, that's not right because it's not that, is it? So 75%, so it's what, 300 pixels? What's the math? This is saying it's 75% on the y-axis and 100%, no, 75% on the x-axis, which means it's 300 pixels. So let's do 300 pixels. Oh no, we need 2, so it's less than 300 pixels. So in this case, it's 250 pixels or something. So that's the idea. It's wrong. 8, and then move. You may be thinking, he's just trying numbers. Well, yes, I am just trying numbers. 1, 2. I'm trying to move it along the axis and see if I can get a match. $145 is close, but it is wrong. So that means this number is not correct. So 275, 260. How about 270, 280, 290, 300, 310, 320, 310. Oh, it's close. No, it needs to be smaller. And then move this slightly. 50. There it is. All right. So those are the pieces. Because these are the same, this can be variable. This radial gradient is identical in nature. We don't need the margin, by the way. Dash G. Well, okay. So now we can replace this with var dash dash G. And we're going to do another one. This is also replaced with var dash dash G. So that's what that looks like. Then we're going to use my favorite conic gradient and do this light color 75%, and then the dark color 0. So we get that. Now the truth is that dark green area is this big, so that's no good. We need it at like 30 pixels, 30 pixels. And then the background position we want to move over 200 pixels or so. And 150 pixels down. All right, so too small. So 50 and 50. And then adjust those background positions. 125. A lot of numbers here that are nicely symmetrical. 175. Okay, I think those are all the pieces and parts. We resubmit. We see if we're in the zone, and we are. We've done better than I've done in the past. Unit replace and minify and nip at some of the extra spaces. And I think that's it, which is that's a fun shape. It's definitely a fun shape. I enjoyed that one. I think I did this more manually, not with sizing the backgrounds in the past, but I did do it with, I might have done it with an element. Regardless, these are fun. So that was, again, the 16th, 17th, and 18th. We got 100% on all of them. We're pretty happy. Have a great day. Make something cool with CSS today. CSS is fun. Websites are fun. Make a website. Have a great day. Take care.